You got some.
Yeah, so I'm typing up the reset right now, but the waiver withdrawal is there for you to sign.
Okay, pause for a second. This is one of those classic early hearing moments where the judge confirms the identity and charges. Criminal trespass plus resisting arrest might sound simple, but both carry real consequences, especially when the story behind the arrest is as wild as this one. Buckle up, because this case starts in a dumpster.
You're Jeffrey Chauvin.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chauvin, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're also charged with resisting arrest. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay, please.
On March 5th, 2025, an officer was dispatched to a trespasser call at a Whataburger in Harris County, Texas. Complaining witness, an employee, stated that she told the defendant who was in their dumpster in the parking lot to leave, and
This is where things escalate. Notice how the officer gives multiple chances and even offers a diversion center instead of jail. That's a big deal. Diversion programs are meant to help avoid harsher outcomes. But the defendant refusing to lean forward, that small moment becomes the pivot point that turns passive resistance into active resistance, and that changes everything legally.
the defendant refused. Staff tried to tell the defendant to leave again at 1 a.m. and defendant stated that he would leave in an hour. At 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., defendant was still refusing to leave after being asked to do so multiple times. At 5 a.m., the trash company came and defendant refused to come out so they could not pick up the trash. The officer observed defendant in the dumpster and asked him multiple times to come out and that he had been trespassed from the location, but defendant continued to refuse for about 30 minutes. The officer asked the defendant if he would be willing to go to the jail diversion center, and defendant said yes. The officer handcuffed the defendant so he could eat food. Officers provided him. The officer went to reapply handcuffs, but the defendant resisted passively by not following officer commands to lean forward. The defendant verbally stated, "No, I'm going to keep my hands here." After several attempts and defendant not following verbal commands, the officers removed the defendant from the vehicle and put him on the ground so he would not hit his head. While officers attempted to handcuff the defendant actively resisted by pulling his arms away from officers. The officers still took defendant to the jail diversion center, but upon arrival, the defendant said he did not want to be there and just wanted to be released, so he was rejected. While en route, defendant had taken his seatbelt off, put his handcuffs in front of his body. The officers told the defendant he would have to be handcuffed behind his back, and the defendant agreed. Officers told the defendant to lean forward, and defendant stated, "No, you're going to have to shoot me," and actively resisted.
And right here, this is the judge's breaking point moment. When a judge repeats something 3 times, like "do not go back to this Whataburger," that's judicial code for "I am giving you one last chance. Do not blow it." What do you think? Should he get another PR bond after multiple refusals to comply, or is the judge being too lenient?
By pushing his body onto the officers in an attempt to escape from the patrol vehicle. Defendant stated he would stop resisting once officers loosened up control, and when officers did, he would go back to actively resisting by attempting to get out. The officer was eventually able to secure the defendant. Defendant broke the officer's nail on the right hand, and officer sustained minor bruises to his finger and forearm.
I'm charged with the assault. I'm a peace officer, Mr. Chauvin. I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. Do not go back to this Whataburger.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do not go back to this Whataburger. Do not pick up any new cases and show up to court. When you show up to court, good things happen. If you take off again, it's not going to go well. We've already given you, this is your second PR bond. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I was not told I had court the first time. I was homeless. I was sleeping in the dumpster.
Okay, well,
when
I don't want you to say anything now because I don't want you to hurt yourself. Let me give you a lawyer. They'll be able to talk to the lawyer how to resolve this case. Just, we're going to give you a future court date, most probably. If you miss it again, I'm going to issue a warrant. You're not going to get a third PR bond. Do you understand?
I have to remain in Houston until this.
Well, let me get you a lawyer. We can talk and try to see how we go forward. For now, let me just have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box, and then we're going to get you a lawyer here momentarily. Okay? Please.